Hi guys, welcome back to the second part of the interview where we're going to talk all about Bari City. I say this in every video, but I think the most important consideration when you're making your first choice is actually the city and not the university, because you're going to live there for 6 years, but you're still going to receive the same standard of education. So with that, Emna, could you give me like a brief overview of Bari and what kind of student Bari is perfect for?
Just before answering, I would just to point out something about what you said. When I was choosing my university, because I'm a non-European, so I had only one choice, I contacted a student from each university and I asked also about how the life is. And one of the reasons I chose Bari was I grew up in an island in South Tunisia. And one of the reasons, like, it's sunny, they have the beach nearby, and it was one of the reasons I chose Bari. So I absolutely agree. Um, Wait, what was the question?
Like a kind of like a brief over. So it's sunny, it has the beach. So like what else is kind of like in an overview of the city, and what kind of student would Bari be perfect for? Like for me, like I really like big cities. So I would imagine that Bari might not be perfectly suited for me. So like who is Bari perfect for?
I think it's not that big, but it's also not that small. They have a big, student. It has quite a lot of student vibe, because not Bari is, you have students from, let's say, Lecce, from Osuni, from all the different part of Puglia that are coming to Bari. And so I think it has a lot of students, but it's not that big like Rome or Milan. So I think it's a good student city.
Okay. And so you said the weather is sunny. What about the winters? What are the winters like?
Oh God, cold. I don't know. um, I I think in the last couple of years, but I don't know why. But, I mean, climate change, but it literally
No.
drops from September, October. September, October, it goes from you go into a t-shirt to okay, I need a jacket and a coat, and it's quite cold. Usually, I mean, it kind of goes to the 15 degrees, 20, 15, 12, something like this. Of course, if it is like January, December, then it goes even lower. It never snows. Never have I seen snow in all the time I've been here.
Okay. Does it ever
Uh,
like go below zero, like or 3 or 4? No.
no,
Okay, that's nice.
maybe at night, like really when you're sleeping, but not much.
Okay, so the weather
Pretty
is
chill.
perfect, basically. Yeah.
In the
Um,
summer is so hot.
so basically, since it doesn't snow, would a lot of students cycle? Like, what's the popular way to get around the city? Like, or is there a metro? Are there buses? Like, how does the transport work?
Metro, the train is only available to go out of Bari. There is nothing in Bari. A lot of buses, of course. So far, I didn't have any big problem. Like, for example, I went to the sports center to just go swimming, and I would just take a bus, and it was so far always on time, never had a problem. And I went on Sundays, to tell you. But I usually walk a lot, or I have a bike, so I bike a lot. But I would say within 30 minutes you can arrive at any point in the city from point A to point B. So it's pretty, it's okay.
Wow,
Everyone
that's
walks or have bike.
oh, that's so good. That's so nice. But so how does since no one would really use this transport ticket, does that make the transport really cheap? Like, is there like an annual bus pass? Like, how much does it roughly cost?
Ooh, I wouldn't know, but I know that a ticket is €1. So if you want to take a ticket, but I don't really know about the monthly, because I really don't use it. I live like 7 minutes from the university, and if I need something, I just walk or take the bike. So I'm not really of a bus person.
Yeah, I mean, €1 is pretty cheap. I guess if you can cycle everywhere, you wouldn't even really need the bus.
Yeah.
So then you said you live 7 minutes from university. So assuming it's also really small, is like what's kind of the cost of living? Because here, the closer you live to the university, the more expensive it is. Like if I wanted an apartment to myself right next to Policlinico, I would have to pay like €900 or €1,000 for like a No, like for a studio, like I live by myself, not with roommates.
Okay,
So
okay.
kind of like, what's the cost of living in Bari, say in a shared house with a private room, 20-minute walk at least from maximum from the university? Like what's the rough cost?
I'm gonna go 20 minutes from university. I would go between 200 and 250
That's so cheap.
euro. Yeah.
That's so cheap.
You wanna come?
Yes, I'm moving to Bari for the exams and the cheap accommodation. Oh my God, bye Rome.
Um, no, about the like your own personal studio, that usually goes up to 500, max 600 euros. I even saw like some places where you basically have it at the top floor, so you even had a big garden or the roof just for yourself. And that would be around the 500, 600 euros. Usually you can find around 200, 250 is pretty much, 250 is actually quite the standard and the basic that you would find for flats, like a private room in, like I live in, we are 5 girls, so it's quite a big flat, and we have balconies. It's near the Policlinico, and I pay 250 euros, so it's quite the
That's
same.
so good. Like here to get a room for 250, like you have to share a room. You would not be able to find a private room for 250 unless you live like a train like outside of Rome. And
A shared room would be around 150, 150, 100, sometimes even less.
that's so good.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then what about like the general cost of living in the city? Like what about like meals or coffees or groceries? Like do you find that the cost of living is cheap as well?
Absolutely, yeah. I lived in Paris before, so I can definitely. I went from one extremity to the other, and I would say it's pretty cheap here. Like depends on how you live. Obviously, if you don't go to restaurants every single day or anything. Like if I would go to a restaurant and I would get with my friends and I would get wine, a primo, or a pizza or whatever, I think I would not spend more than 20 euro. It's almost impossible that I spend more than 20 euro in that night. Otherwise, there's the markets. There's a market where you can go grab fresh fruits, vegetables, meat, and usually it's pretty cheap. Like, it's a pretty nice life. I think you can get by Bari if you have around 500, 600 euros.
That's so good. I'm gonna move
So,
to
yeah.
Bari. Um,
Come.
what about, so you said that like you go for like meals with your friends. What about like different activities for students, like whether it's touristic, non-touristic, sports, not sports, hiking, like what are the different activities that someone can do in their 5 or 6 years?
Okay, so there's the sports center where they have pretty much everything in there, and you can join courses, you can join classes from, since there's also the sea, they can do not only surfing, but a lot of stuff that I cannot remember the name exactly.
Oh,
They
like
have a lot of activities as
windsurfing,
well.
kite surfing, kayaking.
Exactly,
Okay, yeah.
exactly. Paddle. They have courses a bit for everything. And then they have the convention with the university, so you would pay just 15 euro to for the whole year to just enter. And within this 15 euro, you can go to the swimming pool, the tracks, and the basketball fields are for free all the time.
That's so cheap.
And then,
15 for the whole year. 1 5.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then of course depends on the courses. So the course, for example, it would be, I think it would be between 20 to 30 euro per month if you want to do these specific courses like paddle or anything. I also joined to play volley, so I have this whole group of people where I go play volley every Friday, and it's organized by students, and it's not only from people from medicine, but it's also from the Polytechnico engineering students. So we just go every Friday and we go to like the sports center, another sports center where we just play. Otherwise, I mean, you can go out. We have the Bari Vecchia, so the old town where there are a lot of bars, a lot of little restaurants and stuff. So we can go anywhere there and just have fun. What else? I mean, what else? Bars. There's not really a lot of, let's say, discotheques and stuff where you need to really to go outside of Bari. You would need a car and kind of maybe it will be 10 minutes, 15 minutes from Bari by car. But usually in the city, you don't find that. It's mostly tiny little bars, a lot of them, and the vibe is usually like get a glass of wine and have a chill discussion.
All right, that sounds really nice. What about like, is there an international community? Like you said, it's a very student-oriented city, and since there's a beach, I would assume that like before COVID, it would have gotten very touristic. So, what's the international community like?
Well, considering um, the BAMS is pretty on our own. I think we don't really interact with the other international from, let's say, outside of the polyclinical, outside of the medicine course. I don't really know a lot of international in the other universities. So I've never had like, except my own international community, I really don't know the others. And I think that's lacking. But at least I've met other peoples with the volley who are not doing only medicine. And that's how I got to know people.
And so like the people you play volley with, you speak English with them or Italian?
So they speak both,
Okay.
and I usually speak only I speak Italian with them, but sometimes I swing in some English words because I want to improve their English.
Okay. What about the general English level in the city? Would you say that you could get by without learning Italian, or do you think you should learn Italian straight away?
I think you need to speak Italian. Like as a non-EU, when I first arrived in first year, it really hit me that I need to speak Italian because I need to do my permit of stay, I need to do residenza, I needed to do a lot of paperwork. And when I went to these offices, most of the people didn't speak actually English. And so I had to pick it up on the Italian. The students, though, like the younger, let's say, community, definitely speak English and they're way better. But the administration facilities are a big no. So I mean, you can find, of course, usually they have that one or two person in the office, but it's really rare. They would ask you sometimes to come back. So that person is specifically there so you can talk with them in English. So I
Okay.
would really suggest to learn Italian.
Yeah, it's like always the number one warning I give is like learn Italian before you come here. Start learning Italian now. It doesn't matter, just start learning Italian. Like
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and so like the final thing is there anything that you wish you knew before you got to Italy or Bari or the university? Like, is there not a warning, but almost a like something that you would have loved that someone told you, like you would have appreciated if someone had told you that? Is there anything that you would tell anyone who's watching this?
Difficult one because, as I told you, like before coming here, I really asked different students about the university. So I kind of had a warning already about how maybe some professor would be not okay, or their English would not be perfect. And I just waited it out, and I was like, I would love to be next to the sea. I'm literally 30 minutes by foot to the sea. So in the summer, I usually just walk to the sea and that's it. So I just waited out, and I think for me it turned out good. But yeah, I think Bari is a really good city if you just put the work in yourself. Also, like you want to learn, you want to go out, you want to meet people, and that's how it is. But yeah.
Okay, cool. So this was one of the like most succinct interviews I've ever had, which was really, really amazing. Emna, thank you so much for doing this. I super appreciate it. I'm sure you're going to
You're
help
welcome.
lots of students. I miss you a lot. Please come to Rome again so we can hang out. I might go to Bari,
I will.
transfer to Bari.
Please.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to say bye to everyone watching, and yeah, see you in the next video.